In this video, I'm going to give you a bunch of tips that you can utilize to get better results for print on demand when using Midjourney. So for this first tip, I'm going to show you a new feature within Midjourney called Style Reference, which will help you massively in getting the right style for your print-on-demand designs. And I'll show you this example with a vintage sunset graphic. So to start off, what you have to do is upload a reference image and just drop it into your Discord chat, hit enter, and then wait for it to be opened up right here. So this is a common print-on-demand style that is quite hard to recreate within Midjourney, but with this new feature, we can do it fairly easily. So the way this works is you want to type in /imagine as usual, and then type in a simple prompt such as what we're seeing here. In my case, I would put tractor, vintage sunset graphic, isolated, a white background. And then what we want to do in this case is put --s ref space. And now we need to copy the link of this image. So click onto this, right click, copy image address, and then we can paste it at the end of our prompt and hit enter. And now it's going to use this image right here as a style reference to make our prompt turn out as close to this as possible. So here we've got the result, and I think that actually looks really, really good. It is pretty close to the original image in terms of its style, and it looks very POD centric. And just as a comparison, this is the same prompt without the style reference, and the result is pretty different. It still looks nice, but it doesn't look as POD, in my opinion. This style I would definitely prefer to put on my shirt. However, there is even more techniques right here that you can use and utilize to get the image even closer to your reference. So the first thing I would recommend you try out is if you type the same prompt in again, but in this case what we're going to do is add --SW at the end, and you need to have a space between your image link and the new parameter right here. What this stands for is style weight, meaning how much are we going to include this style reference within the final output. This ranges from 0 to 1000. If you set it to 0, it is going to completely ignore the style reference. If you set it to 1000, it will stay as close as possible to that. By default, the style weight is set to 100. So with this result up here, we had style weight 100. So let's, in this example, put style weight 1000, hit enter, and then let's see how it compares to our original result up here. There we go. That was pretty quick, and these are definitely very impressive as well. I don't know if they're necessarily better than these results. I really like these a lot, but it shows you that playing around with the SW or style weight parameter can sometimes give you greatly different results and stick even closer to the original reference image. Now, one more tip right here that could get you even better results is combining this new style reference feature with the describe feature. Now let me explain. Describe, in case you didn't know, if you type in /describe right here, you can provide an image reference. Let's use the same one. I'll drop the tractor file into here, then hit enter. And what Midjourney is going to do now is it's going to create 4 prompts based on this image, and we can use one of these prompts in combination with the style reference. So instead of imagining these prompts like this, which can sometimes give okay results, but to be honest, they're never that perfect. We're going to now look at these briefly, see which one seems the closest to what we're after. I quite like this first prompt right here, so let's just try that. Hit Control-C to copy it. I'm going to type /imagine, paste that prompt into here, use the same style reference again, and in this case I'm going to set the style weight to 500, hit enter, and let's compare this to what we had before. Right, so here we go. These are the results. Again, this definitely looks like print-on-demand graphics, print-on-demand clip art, and I do quite like this top right and top left example. By the way, this is what it would have looked like if we just used the describe feature. I do think the results are pretty decent, but they're just too detailed, too artsy to match that print-on-demand style. So try this, the style reference in combination with style weight, and also applying some of the describe prompts that Midjourney comes up with, and I'm sure you're going to get some very, very accurate results in terms of the print-on-demand style that you are looking for. Tip number 2 is a super useful free extension for Midjourney that works when you're using Discord in your browser. It doesn't work on the downloaded software on your device, but this tool called Promptalot is super amazing. It's a massive time saver. It adds this little taskbar right here with lots of shortcut buttons, and it also has a website where you can store lots of different prompts and styles to kind of save them for future use. So I'll leave a link to this plugin in the description where you can essentially add it to your browser, and then it is going to show up underneath all of your images that you've generated, again if you're using Discord in your web browser. So you get this extra bar right here with a bunch of different buttons. I'm not going to go over all of the buttons because that would take forever, but you get an explanation right here at the bottom in this bar what they do. So the first row at the top, that helps you with copying certain parts of your prompt. For example, in this case, the image prompt, the text prompt, and the parameters. You can also just copy the image prompt, just the text prompt, rather than having to go back in here and fiddling around by highlighting different sections. You can do it easily at the click of a button. You can also use it to quickly and easily copy seeds, copy the job ID if it's part of the prompt, or retrieve a job ID from the Midjourney bot. So instead of having to go in here on the emoji section and clicking on the envelope, if you have the envelope saved as a favorite, which by the way, you just right click and then click favorite on any of these emojis. If you have it saved right here, you can literally just hit this button and it will react with an envelope and instantly give you the job ID. So as you can see, a bunch of shortcut buttons. The ones at the bottom help you copy the image link. This one is quite handy in my opinion, and also useful for the style reference, because if you remember, when I copied the image link for the style reference feature, I had to click on this image, then right click and go to copy the image address. Now, all you have to do is click copy image link, and then you can paste it in at the bottom. Very, very simple. You can also over here add prompts to the Promptalot website. So if you click on this, it's going to pop up and you'll be able to save your prompts so that you can easily copy them in future from that website. Really, really handy. And again, it is free. This does have a paid version. Most of the paid features are aesthetic though. So in my case, what I can do, because I do have a license, is I could, for example, change the style of the toolbar to a different color and also to a compact style. So let's try compact slate. Let's see what it looks like. As you can see, now this is a lot thinner, a lot smaller, and doesn't take up as much space. Has a different color scheme, and you can also disable certain buttons if you just never need them and tidy this up to make it essentially fit your workflow as much as possible. There you go. Now some of the buttons have been removed and it's even smaller. You can also collapse the prompt toolbar with this button over here if you have the pro version. On the free version, you can just toggle it on and off with this button right here down below. So the free version is not a necessity. It is more of a nice little extra, and I think it's only something like $4 a month. But yeah, you don't need it to actually use all these shortcut buttons, and the only thing you really need it for at the moment is, yeah, we've got a beta feature right here to remove the image's background. So if you want to do that at the click of a button inside of Discord, then you could do that or try it out with the pro feature. I haven't tried that, to be fair, myself, and so I can't really tell you if it's any good. But another quick thing I wanted to tell you is that you can download images at the click of a button. So again, I find that downloading images right here in Discord is quite a faff. You have to open them up, right click and save them. You can just click this button over here and it's instantly going to save it to your downloads folder. So this little Chrome extension is super powerful. It's by Chris Hydorn, who I actually interviewed on my podcast. Check out that interview episode if you want to. We went over a bunch of print on demand and Midjourney tips, and definitely give his Chrome extension a try because it really saves a bunch of time whilst using Midjourney. Another way to get a more consistent style when it comes to your POD graphics is through using the tune feature. So let me show you how this works. If we type in /tune down here, hit enter, then we can type in a prompt. Let's say I want to create some cartoon themed graphics and I want them to all be in a very similar style. So I'll type out a prompt such as cartoon, let's do cute owl isolated on a white background. So a fairly simple prompt. Doesn't have to be very in depth. And if we hit enter, it is going to ask us for some extra stuff right here. I'm going to leave this at the default because using the tune function actually does kill quite a bit of fast hours right here, 0.3 fast hours. The higher you set this and the more it's going to kill. So we'll leave it at 32, but the higher the number, the more accurate your style tuner is going to be. I'll use the default mode as well and then just hit submit. I'll have to confirm this by clicking are you sure as well, and then the job is going to be processing for a little while. In this case, this prompt alert bar is a little bit intrusive, so then you can just easily toggle it off at the bottom right here. And now about a minute later, we got this link right here. Your custom style tuner has finished generating. You can now view it, generate styles right here. So you have to click on the link and this will open a separate page where you will essentially have to decide which style you prefer. There is 32 rows of this, and you can either leave this box right here in the middle, or you can click on either side if this is the right style that you're looking for. So in the first row, I prefer the left side of images. In the second row, I quite like the one on the right. Scrolling down, in this case, I don't really like either of these rows. I don't want them to look like my cartoon style. This row again, like these. Right here, I think the right side looks quite good. So essentially that's what you have to do. You have to go through these, and if you like one of the sides more than the other, and it is the sort of style you're looking for, then click on those results and it's going to be sort of included, or your style tuner will be trained in that fashion. Again, in this row, I don't really like either. Right here, it's the same. This one's too simple. This one is too sort of artsy. So yeah, I'm going to fast forward this and then we'll get to the bottom. So right, here we are. I answered 15 out of 32 questions. So quite a lot of them didn't look like the style I was hoping for. And now we've got this code right here, which will help us with our style, or you can instantly copy the same exact prompt with the dash dash style parameter and the right code attached to it. So let's do that for this example. Head back to Discord and I'll now type in / imagine, paste this into here and put -- v space 5.2 because this doesn't currently work for v6 yet. So you would get an error message there. You have to make sure to actually use version 5 if you're using this style tuner. So hit enter on this. I'm going to actually repeat that prompt a few times so we can see how consistent it turns out. And I'll also change the subject right here from owl to something else. So again, we can kind of compare between different subjects. First of all, looking at the owls, these definitely look like the style that I was after. They are very, very consistent, which is promising. I actually like almost all of these and could see them working very well as stickers. Also very easy to remove the background on these, which is great. Right, and here we go. Now we've got the same prompt and the same style reference or code right here for a rabbit. Definitely decent. I like the bottom left the most, I think. Then we've got a unicorn, which I don't really like in this style too much, but you know, it does look consistent with the rest of the results. We've got a palm tree, we've got a corgi puppy, which definitely looks really neat, a surfboard over here, and a motorbike, which actually has a face in there, which I didn't expect, but the top right result is neat. So definitely try out the style tuner. It is quite decent. I think the style reference with the images are slightly better, but maybe in your case it would be handy to sort of save one of these codes and then use it all the time at the end of your prompts to stay very consistent when you're creating your print-on-demand designs. One tool that I've recommended a lot in the past is Vectorizer AI because it helps you turn your low resolution Midjourney images into vector format, which is really, really useful for POD. However, some of you might have noticed that if you use Vectorizer now, it will let you run all the way through this process until you click download, and then it will unfortunately ask you to sign up to a paid plan. So Vectorizer is no longer free. However, I have got a really good free alternative for you. Okay. And it's called svgconverter.app. This will be linked in the description. And the way this works is you drag and drop your image onto the site. And what I would recommend in terms of the settings over here is change this from unlimited colors to custom colors, and then set the number of colors quite a bit lower than the default. In this case, we have got an array of colors, so maybe we'll set it to 10 and then it should auto select some of the colors from this image. It doesn't actually have this blue from the eyes anywhere, so maybe I'll turn this up slightly. The blue doesn't show up until we hit about 20 colors. I do want the color scheme to be less than that, so let's just do 10 in this case and hit save. And then if you click Vectorize, it's going to process for a little bit and then give you the vectorized result on the right and the original image on the left. So this way, just like with Vectorize AI, you can do a quick comparison. It's not quite as good as Vectorizer AI in some ways or in some aspects, but it is the closest free alternative that I've found. Another way to improve the results is changing the blending mode up here from 0 to complete, and you can also further customize the color scheme by actually clicking into this custom palette right here. So you could hit plus and then use the color picker to sample one of the colors from your PNG file. Now I've added that green in there, so we should hopefully have that included in the eyes. So if we hit save, vectorize again, there we go, it's updated the result. It does definitely look quite a bit better now, and I would be happy to download this and use it in my designs. And one more quick tip is you can also further edit these images to clear up or clean up some imperfections with this button in the top left corner, edit image. There's a bunch of features right here that will help you edit this. I'm not going to go into detail in this video because I made a separate video about this Vectorizer tool where I go in more depth about how this works. So for example, if I wanted to get rid of this flower, I could sample the color yellow, then use the color fill, and then there we go. We've got rid of that. We can hit save and then re-vectorize. But if you want more of an in-depth walkthrough of this section right here, check out my separate video, which will be linked in the YouTube cards in the top right corner. I don't know which side it is, I'm not sure, but yeah, that is another way to further utilize this Vectorizer, which is pretty good considering it is free. And by the way, once you're done, just click download in the bottom right corner. Speaking of free tools, another one that might help you out massively is Clip Drop. This is a free way to remove the background from your AI graphics very quickly. So let's use the same example of that unicorn, drag and drop it onto this site. Again, I will leave the link to this in the description. Just hit remove background. I'm actually using the upscaled version from Midjourney right here. That's why, it's asking me to downscale, because the free version of Clip Drop doesn't let you remove the background from massive images. But in that case, you can just remove the background first, and then you can use an image upscaler to increase the quality. So that's the order that I would recommend right here. But in this case now, as you can see, it's very, very quickly gotten rid of that background and saved us a lot of time editing it ourselves. And you can see the before and after with this button, and then just hit download in the top right corner. So definitely a handy free tool. It just means that you have to upscale afterwards as well. And by the way, when I say upscale, I also mean vectorize. Vectorizing is a form of upscaling. It just depends which of the two you prefer. Again, if you're not sure whether you should vectorize or upscale, that's the question I get very, very often. I made a separate video about this, discussing it for 10 minutes with examples. So if you're not sure, check out that video to make sure you're using the right option between an image upscaler and an image vectorizer. In case you didn't know, you can actually use Vectorizer AI and the background remover from Clip Drop in bulk by utilizing my designs. So if you have a lot of graphics to go through and you like investing a bit of money to save yourself a ton of time, then My Designs is perfect for you, because all you have to do inside of My Designs is head over to the listings tab, create a new folder by clicking on the folder system up here. Just click add folder, give it a relevant name, click add new folder, and then once you've got it selected, you can open it up. You can then upload tons of graphic files into your folder at once, or into your collection. So in this case, I've already uploaded 120 images into mine. I've changed it from list view up here to grid view. That way we get a quicker overview of the different graphics. And what you can do now is you can select all of these, head to all actions, and then you have remove background. That is the clip drop functionality, by the way. You can upscale the image and you can vectorize it, and vectorize image uses the Vectorizer AI API, so you will get really good results. So let's start with removing the background. And by the way, you don't have to sign up to a pro plan necessarily. You can just buy credits individually right here. I'm using a demo account. That's why I've got so many available, but you don't need to subscribe to My Designs in order to get these credits and use the bulk feature. So you can kind of do it pay as you go in a sense. Obviously, it does cost a bit of money, but it will save you a massive amount of time. So let's use this as an example. We've got the main file as the input. That is our original Midjourney images, DALL-E 3 images with a background. And for the output file slot, I'll just choose an empty one. In this case, it's called Mockup 1, but the name doesn't matter. Then if we click remove background, it will ask us, are you sure you want to do this for all 120 listings? Yes, remove. And by the way, in this case, it uses 1 credit per image to remove the background for anyone who's wondering how much it costs. And it's added the job to the queue. This is typically quite quick.
A few moments later.
So here we go, the results are in, and you can preview them by double clicking on the Mockup 1 file slot or wherever you saved these images. And as you can see, the result is actually really good. Not every single image will be perfect, but just scrolling through these, you can see that it's very accurate for almost every single image. So considering it's done in bulk for us and automatically, this is definitely amazing. And whilst we're here, I will also show you how to bulk vectorize these files now, because you can do that with My Designs as well, as I said. So if we head back to all actions, go to vectorize image, then we need to make sure to change the input file slot to Mockup 1 because we want to vectorize the file that has no background. The output file slot can just be another empty one like Mockup 2. The name does not matter. And if we click vectorize, it will tell us that it costs 240 credits in this case. So it is 2 credits to vectorize 1 image, slightly different, and it also takes a little bit longer, but in my opinion, it's still worth it because if you had to do each of these steps manually, it would definitely take you a few hours for 120 designs. In this case, altogether, it maybe takes like between 5 and 10 minutes max. And once this job right here is finished processing, all you have to do is head to all actions, click on download as zip, and then you would want to select Mockup 2, where all of the vectorized files have been saved into, and then you can download all of those 120 vector images as a zip file without a background. Super handy and a massive time saver. The link to My Designs will be in the description, of course, and you can also use code PA25 for 25% off if you do want to sign up to one of the pro plans, which you don't necessarily have to do to use these AI features. Just getting the credits should work as well. One way to make your print-on-demand designs stand out is by using high-quality mockups, and Placeit is a great library for that. Now, Placeit has a variety of mockups for many different print-on-demand products, including video mockups, which I will show you in today's example. In this case, let's say you're looking for a mockup for a girl. I'm going to type in girls video mockup right here into the search mask, and we're going to get 283 results. I don't think all of these are videos, but as you can see, as we hover over these thumbnails, some of them start playing and show you an example of the video. You've got some additional filters on the left to help you filter out between different products, genders, ages, ethnicities, and also formats. So if you want a 16:9 horizontal mockup or more of a vertical one, you can also filter that out over here. But let me show you an example of a video mockup. By the way, I do like how they've got some very stylized ones for specific topics. So if you've got a gaming design, this sort of mockup right here would be perfect for a girl's gaming design, right? But let me show you this video mockup as an example. So just click onto the one of your choosing. Then first of all, you will need to insert your image or upload your design file. So I'll click on this and then choose upload from device. Then it's going to upload this, and you will need to reposition this. Ideally move it towards the top because we want to show it sort of more in the chest area of the t-shirt rather than lower down. And once you're done right here, you can click crop. Now it's going to resize this and give us a preview. There we go. That placement looks pretty neat. If it doesn't in your case, you can always click on resize to sort of further adjust this. You can also change the shirt color, of course. You've got some preset colors over here, as well as the ability to go to custom and then change it with this slider and color picker. And then if you're happy with the preview screenshot over here, you can disable the audio because we don't really need that in a mockup, and click play all slides. That is going to render this out in a low quality, so that way we can preview the video mockup before we actually download it in full HD. So there we go. Now that preview is playing, that actually looks really realistic. And if you're happy with the result, you can just click on the purple download button. That will then add it to your queue in the top right corner. And by the way, you've also got more suggestions on the right hand side of similar mockups of a similar style, where I often find some really good new ideas. This will process for a couple of minutes, whilst it is processing, you can still go ahead and generate some other mockups simultaneously. You don't have to wait for this to finish. Once it's done, you can just click on this little arrow symbol and it will say click here to download. That will save it to your device, and then you can start uploading it to your store to stand out in search results. If you like using AI tools to make your life easier, then you would massively benefit from watching this video next, where I share one of my favorite AI tools for print-on-demand sellers of all time.